This week we have the episode Escapism, the penultimate episode for the 5-week event, and honestly, an underwhelming episode of the whole thing. The episode opens with Steven and Connie still trapped in the dark room after they were put in there when they fused Stefani in the last episode. After some moping time, Steven gets an idea to use his out-of-body powers to actually go out of body to go to Earth and try to get help. He makes a detour though, as he is actually trapped in a watermelon Steven on Mask Island. After trying to make a swim for it, he gets an idea to make a raft so he can sail out to each city to get help. During this time, two rival tribes actually try to take Steven as one of their own, and they fight for the right to have him. But when they see Steven having trouble making the raft, they put the differences aside to help him, which they're able to accomplish making the raft. After he says goodbyes, he sets out to sea to Beach City, where he encounters storms and a watermelon shark in the process that bites off his arm and leg. After drifting for an entire day, all hope seems lost until Lion makes an appearance and saves Steven and takes him to Beach City, where he tells Greg and Bismuth what's happening. The episode ends with him leaving Watermelon Steven, coming back to Homeworld in his present body, saying that he hopes the plan works. Now this episode wasn't at all what we were expecting it would be, considering how this episode was set up at the end of Together Alone. Now it could be because we might overhype this episode with theories and stuff of what could happen, but at the very least, it should live up to the expectations the previous episode set, considering we're now in a big part of the arc. I don't know if I'm right with this, but if this episode didn't have the song Escapism in it, which in all fairness is a good song, this would be a pretty forgettable episode. Like, not on levels of Ronaldo forgettable, but I just see this episode as underwhelming and boring. Which is actually a shame because this show actually accomplishes so much when it comes to animation, character, story, and actual claim because it was able to break all the norms previous shows have started and actually make something new out of it. So seeing this happen is kind of sad. The only praise I can give this episode is for the song Escapism. Ever since it came out on the Steven Universe podcast last year, this song stayed in the minds of the fans of the show. Hearing it a year later in an episode felt like the whole thing came full circle, and AJ Mashaka is an amazing singer for the song. I only wish that this was put in a better episode. If I can do this episode differently, I would have it be for Steven to be sent to Mask Island while they're in the middle of their own war, and use this as an opportunity for Steven to regain his confidence that he lost at the end of Together Alone, and show that he can be a force to bring peace to people, so he can actually go back to Homeworld, he has new confidence, and he use that to save his friends and help escape the planet. That's how I would have done it. But if you have an idea how it would have been done, put in the comments down below and tell me how you would have done this episode differently. At most, this is the filler episode, no more, no less. And while there are filler episodes of the series, these filler episodes can actually work to bring new content and new problems for our character to solve. This episode is just Steven trying to find his way off island after a detour sent him there to begin with. This is a weak episode of the arc, no doubt, and it makes me upset that this was teased for over a year and this is the result of our wait. I am confident that it'll make up for it in the hour-long finale, but this is without a doubt the most forgettable episode we've gotten. And whether this title is up for the season or for the series is up to whoever thinks it. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this episode. What do you think? Is this episode forgettable? Could stuff been done differently to make it better? Put in the comments down below, tell me what you think. Since Steven Universe returns in 2 weeks, I've taken a well-deserved week off because school starts up again, and I gotta get back to student mode. I still have a Twitter, so follow me there at ProductionsEOF, and on my Newgrounds page in the description below for updates, sneak peeks, and more stuff. So, that's all I have to say. See you next time.